One of the reasons I got into speaking purely was because I didn't see enough women on the podium. And there's just this fear of like, am I good enough? What do I have to say up there? And I'm busy. Like, do I have time to do that? All the things, I can list a million reasons why I didn't want to be up there. But if I wasn't willing to get up there, why should I ask you to get up there? And so part of my push for speaking truly was, if I'm not willing to do it, then I shouldn't be asking other women to do it.
Welcome to the 21st episode of the Story Project podcast. I am your host, Joanna Scott, and I am so excited for this conversation with a friend of mine, Dr. Kristine Aadland. Before I welcome my guest, I want to tell you a little bit about her. Raised in the Pacific Northwest, she grew up in the world of construction. Kristine Aadland somehow found her way into dentistry and has never looked back. She loves to build and create, and nothing makes her happier than being part of a transformation, whether it is a new smile, a new tooth, or now creating a love for wine. Dr. Aadland built a practice from the ground up and over the years has also been involved in owning multiple practices, teaching and speaking, being on a hospital board and the Washington State Dental Association board, and also owning other businesses outside of dentistry. Wow, I'm like exhausted. Kristine is a lifelong learner and always looking to grow. Her free time is usually spent in the mountains or on the water playing with her dog and Justin, but only when he's invited.
Yes.
Okay.
If he's being good.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, welcome, Kristine. It's so fun to have you here with us in Columbus, Ohio, and with Studio 88, and also on the Story Project podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute magical day, and I've been looking forward to this for so long.
Oh, amazing. Well, we first got connected when Justin reached out to Josh about they discussed us helping you guys brand your new vineyard, winery, Titanium, and that's in Spring Mountain in Napa Valley. We came to visit you at the vineyard last year with our team. We had like the best time ever. The vineyard is beyond beautiful, and it's just been a pure joy for our team, for all of us, to capture the story of Titanium, and we're like forever your raving fans.
Oh, well, the feeling is mutual for sure. Every time you guys post something, we are blown away, lots of teary eyes. Our friends, our family, everyone who's watching this is just amazed. So thank you.
Oh, well, cheers. We do have mimosas, and we don't try to take things too seriously here on the Story Project podcast because why?
That's not real life, right?
No, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, so give us like 1 minute of a snapshot of the winery. Tell us about Titanium. How did this happen? This new venture with you and Dr. Justin Moody.
Okay. So in a minute snapshot, we love a music festival on Memorial Day weekend in Napa called Bottle Rock, and so we were heading out to Bottle Rock to just go relax. And Justin had an appointment, but he was very secretive about it. And it turns out this appointment was looking at this piece of property that he'd been stalking. So I had no idea he was looking or that we were even going to venture into wine. And it is this gorgeous, it's 17 acres on the mountain. So it's on Spring Mountain in the Napa Valley outside of St. Helena. And we went up there and it just was magical. We're about 3 miles outside of town. St. Helena is about 5,000 people. It feels very small town, but when you're there, you're in the middle of nowhere in this very secret place. The winery was called Eden, and that's because there was so much beautiful fruit, the trees. Unfortunately, a lot of the trees burnt down during the fire, and so now we have this incredible view of Napa. But more importantly, the grapes are some of the best in the world. And so we went down this venture, decided the grapes were sold before, so we decided to keep them. And we hired an incredible team, a winemaker, we have a vineyard manager, and now we have you guys to help us promote this. And the journey just keeps going. And being a forever lifelong learner, like I am just geeking out over all the different properties of it. The business side, the wine side, wine making, tasting, how to grow, all of it. Justin had a winery before, so it's not necessarily new to him.
Okay.
He had a winery in Nebraska. I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I had no idea you could grow grapes in Nebraska, but you can.
Didn't either.
Different kind.
It's like when people grow grapes in Ohio, I'm like,
is it real? Is it not
sure?
Yeah. So he's also in love with this project. It's brought us together in even a different way, and we just can't wait to see what the future holds.
That's amazing. So when you first purchased Eden, the property, the 17 acres, was your intention to, did you know that the grapes were in good condition and like you were going to start like a label or?
We did. We
Okay.
knew the grapes were great, who they were being sold to. They were
Okay.
being sold at a good price. And we also knew we wanted to make our own wine from that. And then we also, what was special about this property is it came with a wine permit, which is really hard to get in the Napa Valley. And so that was part of the allure of it.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you guys want to check out Titanium, go to titaniumwinery.com. It's also a beautiful, beautiful website.
Oh, it's one of the best websites I've ever seen.
We could show off. For our audio listeners, I'm showing currently just a bottle of Titanium. The wine label is beautiful. And such an exciting project.
It is. Titanium brings in the element of dental for our background because implants are made of titanium, and that's a big part of our journey. But then how your designers captured the location, the outline is of Spring Mountain, but also looks like the Napa Valley. And so we get so much feedback on just the simplicity and elegance, yet it's so powerful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, well, a couple rapid fire questions just for our audience to get to know you better. These are just fun, and you can just give me like the shortest, briefest answers. What kind of dog do you have, and how old is, it's a he, right?
Yep.
What is his name, and how old is he?
Augie is a silver lab, and he is 8 years old.
Okay, and he's adorable.
And he follows me everywhere. It's great.
You are his person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, kind of. He has a lot of people, but he
Okay.
tends to travel with us, and he's a really good dog. So.
Well, our mini golden doodle, as I was telling you last night, we went to dinner. I am her person. And I mean, it's just like having a little shadow.
Yes.
Everywhere you go, they're there. Okay. What has been your favorite dental conference this year?
So I haven't gone to a lot of dental conferences yet this year. We've been
Okay.
doing a lot of teaching at the center. We just moved into a new facility. But I will tell you, I'm speaking at Thrive Live, which is a conference that Shine puts on.
Okay.
And I've been so impressed with it because it really brings together all elements of the front office and the back office, and it focuses on digital technology. But it's not just one company, it's all the companies that come together. So I'm really, really excited about that. And then I also get to join you for Mommy Dentist and Business Conference, which I'm also incredibly excited about.
Amazing. I am too. Where do you normally go to hike? In the mountains or enjoy nature? What's your place?
We just have this little slice of heaven in Bend, Oregon. And so grew up having a cabin in Sun River, which is just right outside of Bend, where you can walk the trails and the air smells amazing. It's where I grew up skiing. And so if it's wintertime, I'm on the mountain skiing. And if it's summer, then we can enjoy the rivers and float and all the things. So
I love that so much. And I keep telling Josh, I'm like, we need to like find a little mountain getaway where we can just go and escape because there's nothing like mountain air.
I agree.
Nothing.
And you're welcome to come visit us anytime.
Okay.
If I can get you to move and be one of my neighbors, absolutely, I'm in it.
Okay. Okay. So take 2 minutes. How did you and Dr. Justin Moody fall in love? I need to know, just like the snapshot, but I want our audience to know because it's a great story.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So we very randomly met through one of my very good friends. Her name is Mona Patel. She's up in Wisconsin. She got us together. We were down in Arizona, and we were with our core teaching group, which is all like digital technology. But she took a pathway course. She was really fascinated by Justin's classes in that he does a lot of live patient education. And in that, it means that we do a lot of give back. And so the minute I heard the story, I loved it and I wanted to be a part of it. But he wasn't a huge fan of especially CEREC, and which is what I teach, the digital technology. But I kept thinking, like, I can help your patient population so much with the things that you're not doing. So like, let me in. And so we started talking that way. And then he was teaching a course in Chicago, and Mona said, come fly out. You can watch him teach and see if you like his style. And it's only an hour and a half away from Milwaukee. And so I'll come join you. So I'm flying out, and she's going to pick me up from the airport, and I get a text like, I can't make it. But good news, Justin's flying in at the exact same time, and so he's going to share a cab with you to go to the hotel. And he doesn't have plans.
Was this your first time meeting him in person?
Second time, but it was very, very, very
Okay.
brief the first time.
All right.
And like so we're meeting up at the airport all via text. Like we're masked up because this is still like COVID time, and it was just so hilarious and only in Mona fashion. So, and I'm like, I've traveled all over. Like I can take an Uber by myself, but she's like, no, he's going to take you out to dinner. Well, I had no idea that she was setting us up. So we went to Chicago. We ended up at a rooftop bar. It was one of those beautiful days in Chicago where it was sunny and warm, and we shared a couple bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And there was no intention in it, but it was probably one of the most down to earth, honest conversations just about life, like not just dentistry. We just kind of dove in, and that was just the start of everything. We clicked in a really amazing way, and there was I think because there was no intention, like it wasn't nerves because we were being set up. It was just, I don't know, we just kind of fell together in our life, and we've been together pretty much ever since.
I love it. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Love stories are the best.
Oh,
especially when you're not expecting them.
Yeah,
they just organically kind of happen,
Yeah.
Other than your friend Mona, but you know what I mean. Your connection was organic. Yeah.
It was.
That's awesome. Well, okay. I want to talk for a few minutes about your practice. So you did a startup, okay, in 2009. And open your doors. So describe for us, what does someone experience when they walk through the door?
I think the minute they walk through the door, they experience laughter. I have a pretty big team. There's 3 docs. We have 5, 6 hygienists, depending on the day. We have 10 ops. And everyone at our practice, none of us really like sitting in the dental chair, so we go out of our way to make it feel like you're not sitting in that dental chair.
Love
and
that.
You can feel the warmth. You can feel the laughter. Like, we take each other very seriously in what we do, and we want to deliver the best quality work, but we don't take each other seriously where, like, if I walk in and you're my patient, I introduce myself as Chris, unless you're an ex-boyfriend, and then I'm definitely going to use the doctor. But otherwise, it's a pretty casual environment with that, because our whole goal is to make our patients feel comfortable. It's a spa-like feeling. It's like the Tiffany blue color, because Tiffany's is one of my favorite stores. And so it's not that like really stark white, but it's clean, it's fun. My Augie wanders around and he greets people, and it's a warm feeling.
It's amazing. So what are just like some of the top services that you focus on providing to your patients?
I am so lucky. So I have 2 other docs that I work with that are now my partners as of January 1st. They bought in, which is an amazing adventure in its own.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And each of us kind of has our own focus. So I do a lot of digital dentistry. I tend to do a lot of cosmetics because the other 2 docs don't love that aspect, and I truly do. Like, when I get stressed, I'm in my lab painting crowns, whether it's for a patient or I'm just doing it. I just love the art part of that. Nicole, Dr. Nicole, she loves surgery, absolutely loves it. So I was placing implants before, and I like it, but it is not my passion. Where it is, if she could just be doing surgery all day long, that fulfills her. And then Lena, I don't even want to say she just does the bread and butter, because she does all the hard work, and she knows everything about everything. Like, it's my mom's cousin's second daughter's birthday, or like whatever it is, she knows all the relationships. If someone's not feeling good, she is from the Midwest. Like, she drives over and gives them pot roast. It's so fun. But how we combine our work together, we do everything in our practice, but we do what we love within our practice, which makes it pretty special.
That's awesome. So you each get to kind of just specialize and thrive because you feel super fulfilled doing your specific favorite things.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's
thank
great.
you.
I'm all about like staying in your lane with your strengths, because I think that life, when you do that, your life professionally, personally, is just more fulfilling, on the whole. Okay. Well, with it being International Women's History Month, I wanted to share this project, talk about this project with you for a minute, because we haven't even connected on it. You may have seen on my social, but this past year I felt this really strong pull to put the spotlight on the women who have really paved the way, the beginning, like leading ladies in dentistry. And really what hit me a year ago was just, hey, what in the world's happening? Over 56% of the graduating dental school students are now women, compared to 13% in like 1980. That's significant, just a few decades later, and all of a sudden more women are graduating from dental school. And in light of this historic shift, we decided, Studio 88 and I, to put together a documentary. And so my hope is that this project really just helps celebrate how far we've come, while also acknowledging how far we still need to go, right? Because there's still progress that needs to be made. And I wanted to get your insight on what you think are one of the top 2 significant barriers that women face in dentistry that maybe you faced that our audience listening, might connect with.
Yeah, I love that so many more women are going into dentistry, and you definitely see that shift in the schools. But what we're not seeing is the shift of women in leadership in dentistry, and that's where I think we're really skewed. And whether that is on the podium or whether that is owning practices, we're not seeing it. And I think that could be twofold. I think being a boss and being a woman is very different. And I hate to say it and I hate to admit it, but you're either a bestie or you're a boss. And sometimes if you're a boss, then you're a bitch. And it's not anything about women versus men. And I'm really sorry that I swore. I just didn't have another B word.
No, you can do that on this podcast.
Okay, sorry. But it's how women perceive other women and their expectations. And so when you are an owner and a boss and you take into account, like, I might have a team member who's not performing, but if I go talk to her about it, then it's not always received well, because I should know that her son's girlfriend just broke up and she had a really tough time with her son last night. Or like, there's so many personal aspects that we look at differently versus things that they would never tell Justin as a boss. And it's hard because I'm a healthcare provider, a provider naturally, but being a woman or not, but I want to take care of my team. But you do have to kind of set up boundaries too. And that's a really fine line. And I think that's where a lot of women get really stressed out owning practices. And it's something that I walk daily. But then also on the podium, like, one of the reasons I got into speaking purely was because I didn't see enough women on the podium. And there's just this fear of like, am I good enough? What do I have to say up there? And I'm busy. Like, do I have time to do that? There, all the things, I can list a million reasons why I didn't want to be up there. But if I wasn't willing to get up there, why should I ask you to get up there? And so part of my push for speaking truly was, if I'm not willing to do it, then I shouldn't be asking other women to do it.
That's incredible. So just a little backstory. When we were at your vineyard, you and I were getting to know each other, and I don't know, you're kind of one of those people. When I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, she feels like a sister, or like this best friend that I've always had. Like, I feel like we just have like really great chemistry really fast.
The feeling was so mutual.
So we were talking about, some of our gifts, and you brought up speaking, and just that you've been doing more and more of it. And I shared with you just how personally challenging that has been for me, like a massive fear. I can do it. I'm a leader. I can get up and lead and direct all day long. But the whole communication piece has definitely pushed me out of my shell the times that I've done it. And, but I appreciated your encouragement, to just kind of take those steps towards maybe say yes to the panel, maybe say yes to, speaking to a smaller group. It doesn't have to be, like all of a sudden you're in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you realize, most people in the audience are cheering you on, like 99.9% of them. Like, sometimes there's always that one person who wants to challenge everything. And a lot of times it's because they feel like they should be the ones up there.
Yeah.
But the majority are cheering you on. And then the minute you are breathing on the other side, you're like, okay, I just did that.
Oh.
You just take one more
the
step.
Confidence boost. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So tell me why you love this mantra, become the change you want to see in the world. And how has that become really significant in just shaping your mindset with your goals as a woman in dentistry, your achievements? And I think you kind of touched on that, but I think the mantra is just like, I love that. I feel like it needs to be on a plaque for all women too. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I think, in the speaking, that was it. Like, if I'm not willing to do something, then I shouldn't ask others. But also, if I'm not willing to behave like I think others should, then I shouldn't expect that. It's just managing expectations of life and like trying to create change. Like, I think the only way we grow is to create change. But then defining what that change is, I think that's actually one of the hardest parts.
Yeah.
So as soon as you can find that, whether sometimes it's finding a mentor or finding someone else that you admire and you think like, okay, I want to try that too, to grow.
Yeah, completely. Well, and I like what you said there, because I think that even some of the barriers that women have faced, they come from other women.
Absolutely.
And it can be women against women. And there's this competition, very competitive kind of nature, gossip, right? I mean, you name it. Women, women can be mean.
Absolutely.
There's the Mean Girls Club. And I think that it's really important that we, as you said, are really raising the bar and how do I want to be treated, and to make sure that we are in that spirit. That's how we are treating other women, I know that sounds so simple, but I think that it's like pausing when you're tempted to say the thing about someone else, right? Is it necessary that you say that? Maybe go process it with your therapist instead of texting your friend or blasting them on social, or you know what I mean, which can sound a little bit outrageous, but we do see it happen.
Absolutely.
All the time.
And a lot of it's subconscious. We're not even aware of it.
Right.
It can be as simple as, joking with your daughter and calling her bossy.
Yes.
But is she really being bossy, or is she just being a leader?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had that same conversation with her, especially because she has taken after me. So I think God just like laughs. Like, I'm an Enneagram 8. I'm strong. I'm a director. And I do the same thing with my kids. So she does it back. She gives it right back to me. And so what I'll say sometimes, though, so we can find some type of compromise and move on in our day, is, can you take your attorney Aaliyah hat off for a minute? Because, I mean, I literally think she will make a fantastic attorney, and I want her to go do it. But, you know, instead of saying, like, you're bossy, stop doing that, I'm like, okay, I love that you're just being so strong and expressing that. Don't stop that. But for this moment, can we agree to kind of like find a compromise here and then, you know, move on? And so
I love that.
Yeah. So that's worked. I think it's instead of, actually, a mutual friend of ours, Ann Duffy, of course, with Dew. She's precious. And her name pops up all the time just because, like, everyone that she meets, she just wins them over immediately. But she talks about how her story with really, and I think I might, hopefully I don't butcher this saying, but it's like, you know, bossy little girls make great leaders. And she always says that. And that struck me a few years ago when I heard her say that for the first time. And so I just always remember that with my daughter.
I love it.
Yeah. So that tenacious spirit, you've got to have it, right?
Yes.
So how can women stepping up as educators not only influence the mindset of other women in the profession, but just like help shape the future of dentistry on the whole? I mean, what topics, I guess, like where, as far as like, so tell us what do you educate on? And then do you think that it needs to be more education like clinically, or do you think that it needs to be women stepping up and educating on leadership, or, you know what I mean? There's so many, I guess, lanes with education as far as like getting up and speaking
And I think that's the point. I think to be in a leadership position doesn't mean you have to be on the stage. Like, you can do a lot of behind the scenes. You can write articles. You can even just have really open and honest conversations. And I think, you know, in dentistry, you think everyone else is doing this, but I guarantee not everyone else is doing whatever that is, you know. And a lot of times it's based on production. Well, everyone else is doing so much more production. I must be failing. Well, there's a lot of people who could be doing high production, but guess what? There's another part of that equation where if their costs are high, they're not going to make as much. So you might be making more even with a smaller practice. But people don't want to share a lot of those very personal things. Or what do you do if you have a medical procedure and you have to be gone? Like, will people step up? And what does that feel like? Should you come back in time? Like, I had to have a hysterectomy last year, and I did not believe anybody. I thought I would be back to work in a week. And everyone said, like, I had to take off 3 months. And I thought, yeah, right, not me. Like, I can work through anything. Yeah. It turns out they were right. Wow. And I'm lucky I had a lot of support. Yeah. And I was lucky that people were honest, even though I didn't believe them. Yeah. But, you know, whether it's medical, personal, life things, how do you handle it? I think leadership can follow itself in different ways. Write the articles, post something online. I have some friends who are amazing at clinical, and that's all they want to talk about. Other ones amazing at business. And sometimes it's literally just sitting down and having a glass of wine and sharing whatever that story is that's going to touch that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Just those ways to help other women and other people know that they're seen and heard and not siloed. I think that's one of the hardest things is when you go through something really hard, and if nobody is talking about their experiences and what their challenges, what they have been through, then you just kind of feel like you're alone, you're isolated, which I don't know that there's possibly any worse feeling in the world than to think nobody understands me. But if we open up about our struggles, right?
Oh, you're amazed at how many people have gone through it.
Totally. Yeah. And then you can also lean on them, or, you know, hear what solutions they you know, how their journey played out, what they did to like overcome that mountain or, you know, struggle. So, yeah.
Know that the practice didn't fail if you were gone, or when you had to fire that one person who you thought no patient would ever come back. Guess what? Yeah. All your patients still came back. Whatever it is. Yeah. It can be something small or something big.
Yeah. So really, I think stepping up as an educator, find your lane. So writing articles, that's actually more mine. I need to just make a little more space and time for it. But I love writing. I think that it's just a channel that I feel very comfortable in. You get up on stage, and I don't know if I'm ever going to join you.
I don't know if I entirely feel
I
comfortable
said yes
with
to
it,
a
but
panel
Good
this
job.
year.
I'm very
so
proud
I
of
was
you.
like, okay, Kristine would be very proud of me.
Yes, I am.
So, yeah. So I think that's a really great piece of encouragement for all women, because we're all unique and we all bring different skill sets to the table.
Absolutely.
So last couple questions. In your entrepreneurial journey, can you share with us something that you feel really proud of?
I am really proud of my practice. Like the past couple years, COVID or not, like we've had some transition in our team. And I think that was really hard because I've had some team members with me for a really long time. And some people weren't comfortable coming back to work, and it kind of hurt my feelings. And then growing and knowing it really wasn't anything personal, and then taking a chance on inviting new team members in and like trying to tear down some of those barriers, because it does hurt when they become your family and have to leave. But I love going to my practice every day and happy to wake up and be there. And I am incredibly blessed with the 2 docs that I get to see every day. Like when we have moments between patients, we just sit and chat and catch up on life. And, but my entire team, I'm proud of what I've built there, like starting from scratch and then building that up to the point where I could sell part of it. I'm still in it. I don't know what's going to happen with the winery. I'm not planning on retiring because I really enjoy patient care.
It's so refreshing to hear that you really, really love going to do what you do every day.
I do. Like we get to make such an impact on people's lives, and dentistry can be hard, but at the same time, the reward is very great. When you get to transform someone and give them confidence in their smile, like to me, there's nothing better in this world.
That's amazing. What are you most excited about in 2024? It's already almost end of Q1.
I know, which is insane. So we have Cabernet on our property, and our red, which I love red wine, won't be available until end of 25, early 26.
Okay.
But we purchased some white grapes. So we're doing a Semillon and a Sauvignon Blanc, and we have this amazing winemaker who has been in the Valley for a very long time, about 40 years, and he's known for his Sauvignon Blanc. And so it's going to be released here in a couple months.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, we're bottling in a month, and then
that's my top favorite white wine.
Oh, mine too. And it's beautiful and crisp, and you just want to like sit on a summer patio and drink it. I cannot wait to share it with you, because we will be sitting on a patio somewhere around the world sipping it. Really just looking forward to getting into that aspect a little bit more, and seeing what transforms from that.
That's so exciting. When will your property be open for like visitors?
25 is our goal as of now. And then obviously, so we're building also from scratch. So construction isn't always a guarantee on timelines. Okay. Neither is weather. Yes. We broke ground, but then it's rained 24 inches since January, which is a lot of rain in California. So hopefully we'll stay on schedule, but the end of 25 is, I think, when we're going to be ready to go.
Gosh. Okay. 2 exciting things before we wrap up. You are, as you mentioned, you are actually, Kristine has agreed to partner with Studio 88 and speak for us at the Mommy Dentist CEO Roundtable in, what part of California is that?
Huntington Beach.
Yes.
Ugh, magic part of California.
I haven't spent time there, so I'm really excited. And so she's going to speak there on Thursday, the first day of the event. So this is Mommy Dentist group, of course, Mommy Dentist in Business with Dr. Grace Yum. And I'm speaking of, taking your seat at the table, stepping up to the plate. I just thank you so much for doing that. I'm so excited to get to hear you very soon.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a little outside of my comfort zone in that, like, I do speak normally on clinical dentistry or the business of dentistry, but we're opening the doors in this, and this is just business in general. So I'm excited to share my story, because again, like, if you don't share, then sometimes you don't know. Yes. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So I'm really, really looking forward to this event.
That's so exciting. Okay, good. Well, that will be the next time I get to see you.
And it will be your birthday.
It will. It will be my birthday.
So we'll have a cheers for sure.
Yes, definitely. The other thing I want to mention to our Story Project podcast listeners, so I mentioned the documentary earlier. So basically we're doing a live watch party on April 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you are available to jump on, you can register and save your spot at, s88.com/WSDT. And you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm Joanna F. Scott. My middle name is not Frank. I just want to clarify that. It's faith. Because I'm all about taking that leap of faith, right? So, no, actually, I don't know why my parents did that, but I always have to spell my name out, and then I say F, and usually it's like F as in Frank. And people look at me, and I'm like, it's not Frank. I'm just, you know.
I love that.
So you can follow me at Joanna F. Scott or Studio 88. It's 8E8. And how can people stay in touch with you, get to know a little bit more about you, your practice, Titanium? What's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, so our Titanium website is titanium.wine. It is one of the most beautiful websites you'll ever see, courtesy of Studio 8 and 8, so definitely check that out. I'm on Instagram, Dr. Chris Aadland, Aadland. That's an easy way, Instagram. Otherwise, Aadland Dental is my website.
Awesome. Perfect. And we'll put all that in the show notes, of course, so
Awesome.
people can follow you and find you. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but we are doing a full day of photography, video, custom session for Dr. Aadland and Dr. Moody. And so if you're ever interested in anything like that, it's kind of one of our jams. We love hosting people in Columbus, Ohio, and just creating just an amazing brand photography video session. So
it is magic, and you will never feel as special as you do today.
Oh, cheers,
Cheers.
lady. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.